Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Welcome to episode 1 of Work Hard, Dream Big with your host, Shelby McGill. Today I've got a special guest in who in a few years I think is going to be at the top. Girls are going to be going crazy over him and be throwing stuff on the stage at him. Please help me welcome my friend, Taylor Fisher. So Taylor, what's going on in your life right now? How's life treating you?
Well, a whole lot. I'm currently auditioning for the Rodeo Opry. Not currently, sorry, I already did. Waiting to hear back from that. I just got accepted into the Country Music Singers Association. They're trying to put me out there quite a bit. I've done two shows through them, and I got a lot more going on through them. They're trying to set up with me. I'm starting my own LLC right now, and gonna have my own record label because I know a lot of the music industry is pretty crooked sometimes from what I hear. So just going about things as mainly independent as possible. I got my own studio. I'm doing my own. I write my own songs. I pretty much do everything on my own.
What's your record label name going to be?
Boss Record Productions. B.O.S.S. Boss, which stood for Brothers of the Sinister South, and that was just something that we all kind of came up with, and it was just a code for all of us that were brothers who have been friends for a long time.
What inspired you to start writing songs and playing the guitar?
Well, movement. I love singing. I love reaching people. I like touching people through songs. But I mean, I don't know. I love, I have this one song I sing a lot, and it's called Last Letter. And every time I sing it, which is not going to come out on my first album, by the way, every time I sing it, it tends to bring people to tears, and that's crazy because of the ways people can relate to that. Whether they were in the military, they have family that were in the military, which is what the song's about, and so that's pretty much it. I mean, everyone's related through music. Everyone's motivated through music, and I don't know. Everyone has a connection through songs.
So you mentioned the first album. What kind of songs are on your first album?
That's a good question. I have a lot. What I'm trying to do differently is I'm trying to stay as diverse as I can. So I have songs that might be a little old timey, a little more classical. I have some songs that are a lot more upbeat, maybe classified as like a country rock, maybe something that you today see like Jason Aldean or Brantley Gilbert or something like that singing. I have songs that are kind of some of them are a little bit more modernized, and that could be, compared to today's country. And then I have songs that are just, most of the songs I write that they're all just stories. Sometimes I have stereotype songs, talking about tractors and trucks and my boots and stuff like that. But those are few and far in between because I like to write about just really what I've been through, something that somebody can relate to, something that can help somebody through a hard time, stuff that makes me think more, stuff that helps me reminisce, people that have passed and stuff. I have songs sometimes for them, so that way it kind of keeps me in touch with them, to let them live on through my music and such. So
that's cool. So you mentioned the stereotype from country nowadays to country back in the day. I've kind of got an opinion about this, but what's your opinion on what people think today's country and the old country is?
What people think? I can't tell you what people think. I can tell you what I've heard, and I can tell you what I feel. I just honestly, today's country, there's a lot of great musicians out there. There are, and there's a lot of great writers out there, and there's a lot of musicians that don't write. Me, for example, if I'm going to pursue a career, I'm going to do my damnedest to be the best in every area that I can do. So I grew up playing piano from since I was like 5 or 6. And then from what my parents told me, I could sing since I was born. I mean, or not born, but since I could make sound, basically. And so, but I continue to get better, and I'm all ear taught. I'm self taught. I've never taken anything, which I would like to, because that could possibly show me how to better myself in certain areas that I honestly don't know how. But I think today's country, again, there's a lot of great artists, but I think the problem is a lot of people don't want to dedicate themselves to their career as much as they should. I mean, if I'm going to spend a lifetime doing something for, again, the rest of my life, then I'm going to make sure that I'm the best that I can be. That's why I do everything on my own. That's why, I just recently picked up a banjo just because I'm like, well, why would I not want to learn another instrument? I mean, I'm a musician. That's what it is, and that's what it's about. So,
how's that going, by the way, the banjo?
It's a work in progress. I don't have any finger picks, so it's kind of hard because I'm used to playing acoustic guitar. But I think that'll be a good lead going into electric, and then progressing on to things like the mandolin, and then possibly a fiddle, and who knows, I might just pick up a harp randomly, but I don't know. Again, that's what classical stuff I feel like was more heartfelt, and it was more written by the artist more so than it is nowadays. Everyone's got a ghostwriter, and I'm not about that. I'm self-made and independent, so that's my opinion.
Self-made and independent. Wise words of Taylor Fisher.
It's the name of my first album. It's going to be called Self-Man Made of Grace.
Is it really?
Self-Made Man of Grace. Yeah, Self-Made Man of Grace. That's what the first album is going to be called.
When are you expecting a date?
We're looking at. I can't give you too much information. No, I'm looking for like probably in the next 2 months or so. I got 60 of my own originals I've written, so I'm definitely ahead of the game. But 10 are going on the first album, and I have 8 done, and I actually have 2 left to be recorded. And those 2 songs, they're coming in a little hard because in the progress of all this, my audio engineer / lead guitarist, he's getting married, which I couldn't be more than happy for him. That's awesome. But it makes everything a little bit slower, just because people have life, and that's just part of it, and you gotta adapt to it. And it's cool because it also teaches me patience. If I was with a record label right now, it doesn't matter what was going on with anybody, my music would be pushed out there. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool learning to deal with life how it comes, and learning to be patient, because it's always gonna come around like that.
So being self-taught and independent, what are some things you see in yourself that you need to work on as an artist and a writer?
Things that I need to work on? A lot. I mean, I have a lot of supporters out there that tell me I'm good, and they talk me up, and that's great, but that's not 100% what I look for. I look for critique. I look for stuff to improve on. And so when I hear either the sugarcoating or the wow, you sound great, instead of, hey, there was that one note in there that you kind of just messed up on. I don't know. I like to hear some of the bad stuff. I mean, as long as it's not just horrible stuff that, it's just because someone hates me, but as long as it's actually critique, that I can build on, all critique can be built on. And so that's one thing I got to work on is everything. Honestly, I can't really pinpoint anything specifically. I just got to keep continuing to grow and strive to be the best that I can be 100% in all aspects.
That's a pretty good answer. pretty good answer. So I told you I would get a little bit personal in this. And so I got to ask you, we talk about your mom a little bit. So what was, tell me a little about that and how that's inspired you to write your music.
Well, my mom actually went to prison for 3 years, and that was a fun ordeal. I mean, it was crazy. There was a lot of crazy stuff that went on that should not be spoke of. But I don't know. It was a cool learning experience. I mean, it sucked not having my mom there, but don't get me wrong. I mean, we all grew from it, and we all came closer. Or, the fake ones, like some of her friends, they faded out. And I mean, that's the name of the game. That's how it is. I mean, but that inspired me a lot. Some of my songs inspired me. I'm in the process of, again, just writing stuff about my past and stuff like that. And I've written a song kind of about her in that aspect, but it was very beneficial because it made me realize that people are precious, honestly, and you gotta live out moments, honestly. Like, I know it sounds cheesy, but you gotta live out moments like it's your last. I mean, or else, I mean, anything could happen in a flash. I mean, anybody could just die right there, and you'd have no idea. And so, I mean, that was one thing that made me kind of chase this dream a little harder. Was, wow, I mean, I could be missing out right now, sitting down on my ass, not doing anything. I could be missing out on a great opportunity by not getting out there. And so, again, everything's just kind of relatable.
That's pretty cool. So kind of getting back on the music topic again. I know starting this podcast up, it's been a timely thing. Uploading this, making sure you got this done, and I'm still in the process of a timely, aggravated process. What is that like for you in the music industry?
Everything sucks. I mean, we go back to what I said earlier about, my audio engineer. He's going through, he's getting married, and that's awesome. Again, couldn't be more than happy for him. But it puts such a time drag on stuff because, and not even just that. He started working swing shift, working nights, and working graveyard shift, and so that put a damper on things too. Because I work during the day. I wake up early and I get off semi-early, and that's great for me. It leaves me time to do shows and stuff like that if I can. But not even just that. I mean, if I don't have him, I don't have the skill yet, which that's another thing that I got to improve on, going back to what you said earlier. But I don't have the skill now to do everything in the studio that I can do. So that'll definitely be a continuous learning process because without him right now, I mean, that's why my album's not finished. My album was supposed to be finished May of last year, 2017. And you can obviously see I still have 2 songs. And that's pretty much where we left off. And so just and there's some stuff that we have to redo. I mean, everything's just timely. I'm glad that's timely though, because honestly, with me starting my own company, it gives me time to absorb as much information as possible in a slow manner, instead of having everything just crammed and thrown at me at once, and being like, oh, well, I don't remember you saying that, or what am I supposed to do again? I mean, it gives me time to learn things and relearn things, to be able to just stick them in my head and go, and again just thrive. So yeah, that's about it.
What do you see being a big speed bump in your career? I mean, I know there's a bunch, but what do you see in your future that you're like, okay, when this comes, I've got to plan accordingly? I mean, are there things like that in the music industry that you kind of dread or don't look forward to?
One thing that I really dread is hitting it big, quick. Again, I've grown used to taking things at a timely manner. I don't want them to stay like that forever. That, it'd be great if it didn't have to take me 20 years. to get in the top 10 or something on the radio or something. But if I just put a cover up on Facebook or social media at all, and then boom, I'm getting sponsored, and someone hears me, or as soon as my album drops, I have several radio connections right now, and that I'm trying to utilize, and by doing that, I mean, if I get something on the radio and it just takes off, well, I'm not going to be prepared because I'm going to be on album 1, which is cool, but I'm not going to have time to do album 2. Plus, I'm going to be getting smacked in the face with shows and performances and concerts, and people are going to be looking at me weird, like, is that Taylor Fisher? And that's going to be great. But I don't know. That's going to be. It's not. It's a speed bump, but it's going to suck because of how fast it can take off, and if it does take off that fast, then I just got to be ready.
What's one of the biggest places you played at?
That's a good question. I'd probably say the biggest venue or place that I've played at would be Sooner Corral, which is now known as Six Shooters. I played up there for an hour and a half with a guy that actually lent me some audio equipment because I didn't have it. But that was probably the biggest. Now, if we're talking the best, I'm going to have to go with Nashville. I played in Nashville, and their recording equipment is superb. I mean, it's the best stuff I've ever played on. There was no delay in anything. There was no static. It was just the clearest, best sound I've ever had in my entire life. And that's probably the biggest place. Second biggest would have to probably be Paseo Arts District. I played out there on an open mic night, and I was approached by a gentleman, and he told me he wanted me to come out there and play for like an hour and a half of stage time, and I was like, I can do that. So I went out there and I played out on their patio, their string light patio, and it was a great deal. I mean, there was a lot of people that came through there, a whole lot. So yeah.
In the next year, even the next couple of months, what are some shows that you're looking forward to, hopefully getting into, or already into?
So let's see. The Country Music Singers Association, is that's a really big deal because, man, they're trying to put me out on a stage, one of two probably at a 5K that they're trying to host, and they have a lot of stuff, a lot of time and a lot of effort that goes into that stuff, but they're trying to. They're trying to go through and do that for me, and they're expecting an approximation of 14,000 people. That's a lot of people. For me going and playing in front of a couple hundred, 14,000 is a huge step. And so that is one thing that I'm definitely looking forward to. They also host contests at occasionally at the Country Tonight Theater in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. They were telling me about that, and that's a really cool deal, just because, holy crap, I mean, the occupancy of that is great, and the stage is huge. I mean, it would be a great place to play at. So, I mean, other than that, I got a connection to the State Fair. Hopefully I'm looking at a 30-minute gig up there, and then some other small stuff, but yeah,
State Fair should be pretty big, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I got to go about everything strategically, and so I gotta make sure I get everything out there for people to come up there. Hopefully, if I can bring a crowd, people will see the crowd, and that'll make them migrate. Maybe check me out. Maybe if everything goes accordingly, I'll have an album or an EP to be able to hand out there. I have a guy that does. He does a lot of upholstery on vehicles, but he actually stopped that to do cloth work with shirt design and hat design and stuff like that, which is cool because that gives me another up on my image that I can put out there. Everybody likes T-shirts and hats, so
yeah.
Especially if it's an artist that they like. I mean, that's the main deal is, again, if I can draw a crowd, I can sell someone a T-shirt. Maybe they'll wear it around. Maybe somebody will be like, "Hey, whose T-shirt is that?"
I'd wear a
then-
T-Fish T-shirt.
Would you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'd buy one.
I'd probably wear one
I'd
too.
buy one. So you're gonna sing a song for us here in a second, and
I'm gonna try.
tell me a little bit about writing it and.
Just writing that song or writing all my songs. I mean, I don't know. Writing in general is hectic. There's a lot of writer's block. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. There's a lot of songs that I haven't finished. I have 60 originals, and I mean, there's only 50 that are finished, and I say only, even though that's the vast majority. But I mean, I'm still like I'm creating songs. I mean, I just started writing one today, and all kinds of stuff. So, like I said, writing this song was great. My buddy brought it to me. He actually brought me that one that I told you about, that military song earlier. He actually brought me that one too. And usually, sometimes he'll bring me a concept, and sometimes I'll keep it. It won't even be just lyrics. It'll just be a concept, something to grasp hold of, something to go off of, something to base the song off of, and then we'll write it start to finish. This one took us a while. I think I want to say this was probably one of, if not the first song I finished. There's a top 3 list, and there's Whiskey Lover, All My Names, and Valley Brook. And those were my first 3 songs ever written and finished. And there was a spurt where I went through where I had like 9 songs total. And then within a matter of 2 months to 3 months, I was up to 30-plus songs. And I went through, again, that was a phase where obviously I didn't have any writer's block. But it is a terrible thing, but again, it's just like anything else. If you get used to doing something too long the same way, you got to switch it up. Sometimes I'll write my lyrics before I put the melody to it. Sometimes I'll come up with a melody and then I'll start writing lyrics. Sometimes I'll do it all at the same time. And so, I mean, but there's 100 different ways to attack that. And so whenever I get writer's block, I have to go through that. But this song, Whiskey Lover, it's just about liking your women like you like your whiskey. We shall hear a little bit about that in a minute when I sing it for you.
Do you like your women like you like your whiskey?
Absolutely. Yeah. Nice and smooth until she hits you in the kidney, pretty much. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It's a great concept. I like concepts, especially when they're not all the same. I don't like the songs that are just repetitive and can be compared to other songs. And I try to write about the stuff that people don't like writing about sometimes, and not all the time, just sometimes. But just putting that out there. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that don't get sang about, and it's because people either don't know how to go about it, or they just don't think it would be a cool concept. So I strive to make it a cool concept and be different and be better.
All right, well, let's get a guitar in your hand and
Alrighty.
get you strumming it. By the way, the song he mentioned last letter, I will say, is one of my favorite songs that I've heard Taylor sing. And so I strive to keep everyone updated on that because I think it's going to be a big song.
Well, this is Whiskey Lover. Make sure everything's up to date here and in tune. You ready?
Ready when you are.
Like my women, like I like my whiskey, nice and smooth to her touch, till she hits you in the kidney. She keeps me warm, like a midnight summer rain. She keeps me hungover, like a poison to my brain. I I know that one of these days the sober boy is gonna see change. But till then, I'm keeping my ways, just being my lover and Kentucky straight whiskey. My whiskey. Now she can't stand it when my friends come over, 'cause we ain't staying sober for Jack. A fold-out chair, cold beer, while the dog's here and my baby, she's in my lap. But there's a fireball that's driving my southern drawl, guiding my words to fall from her past. 'Cause man, it's one wrong turn and then a burnout in the drive is when my third chance became my last. And oh, now I know that one of these days this sober boy is gonna see change. But till then, I'm keeping my ways, just me and my brothers and Kentucky straight whiskey. Oh, 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 oh. It's been 3 long years, a couple tears, another cold beer since you walked away from me. And since that night I put that bottle out of sight. This time I mean it, damn it, baby, I swear I'm clean. And no, all of my brothers still not back. A 1 and 3/25 of Tennessee. I'm by a fireside viewing a lawn chair for 2, and I'm thinking back to you and me. I knew that one of these days the sober boy was gonna see change. It's now late, I'm finally turning my ways. If I'd have known then what I know now, I wouldn't be stuck thinking about just me and a memory of my lover and my whiskey. Now I miss my woman like I miss my whiskey. The smooth burn of the sting and everything between. And I'm just wishing you were with me. Oh, oh, oh. That's it.
Wow.
Well, thank you. That was, again, one of the ones that my buddy wrote me, or brought to me the concept of. That was the same one he brought. That was actually the same guy that brought me Last Letter, which is the song we talked about earlier. He's got a lot of cool concepts that he just sometimes will just throw at me, and I might switch him up a little bit, or I might do it exactly how he's planning, or anything like that. But it's actually everything that we've done has actually turned out really great.
So you mentioned your buddy a lot. What does he have to do with the inspiration with the music and where you are today? Who are some people who inspire you to be who you are?
Honestly, everything is inspiration. I mean, I use experiences. I use people. I mean, a lot of my closest friends are inspiration, just because the good times that we have. You know, I mean that gives me something to write about, and something for us to listen to and look back on. Like, oh my gosh, can you believe that happened? You know, and so that's something really cool. That's something really cool that I go through a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's literally everything is very inspiring. Just depends on how you look at it all. So,
who's an artist you not compare yourself to, but you look at and you want to strive to be that great?
No, I don't know, honestly. I mean, I try. I don't know. I try not to compare myself to anybody. I mean, I see people that I want to be better than. I mean, that's what moves me. I mean, a lot of people say I sound like Brantley Gilbert. Some people say I sound like Jason Aldean. I mean,
I see a lot of Brantley Gilbert in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I get all kinds of stuff. And again, once you hear my album, it's very diverse in everything that it is, and so you'll hear a lot of maybe comparisons to other artists and stuff like that of your own opinion and stuff. But again, if I see an artist that's doing great, like if I look at Brantley Gilbert and I'm like, wow, he's doing good. He's making money, he's putting singles out. That's great. I can be better than that. And I mean, my ultimate goal is to have an album where every last single song on it goes platinum at least 10 times. I'm just kidding, not that high, but every song, I want every song to be a number one hit. Every single song. That is my entire goal. To be great. That's my entire goal.
I think those are goals that are definitely goals that can be reached. And if you don't set goals that are a little out of reach, you're never going to try hard enough to get there.
Right. Exactly.
So those are just one thing. So what's some advice you would give?
Just like when I was homeschooled, I didn't even know what cuss words were. And then I went to public school, and I learned every single one in one day. And so, I mean, it was definitely, and I didn't know they were that bad, and until I got a whipping for it. But I mean, you're always going to be around bad stuff, so don't ever let that discourage you. I mean, at all. I mean, I can sit here and talk all day long about, chase your dreams. Again, another stereotype. It's just something they hear all the time, but it's true. I mean, just like the woman's always right. That's another thing that's very true all the time. Even when it's not, it is. Unfortunately, and I I had to learn that the hard way. But there's so many things out there that you hear a lot, and there's a reason you hear a lot is because it's a very common thing and it's very true. And so don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something. Again, one of those things, but really don't. I mean, whenever people tell me, I love when people tell me I can't do something, because I will 9 times out of 10, sometimes 10 times out of 10, I will prove them wrong, and I will. And a lot of my friends, when I was a bad singer, and I consider myself good. I don't consider myself great by any means. But when I was a lot worse off than I am, just looking back at old videos and old recordings that I have, there's a lot of my buddies, they told me, you're great, but I had people that would listen to me, and they were just like, yeah, you just need to stick to your day job. And I was like, okay, well, you'll see. And here I am, and I'm only getting better and better every day, all the time. And I mean, that's why I constantly sing. And it's not because I'm forcing myself to. It's not because I feel stressed out and I feel like, I need to get better or anything like that. It's because literally I strive to be better, and it's what I love doing. I've had a lot of stuff that I've tried occupation-wise, and I just, I found out that a lot of that stuff wasn't for me. A lot of stuff.
Where do you see yourself being in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years from now?
That's a good question. 5 years.
Some accomplishments from here till there that you want to...
Well, hopefully I have my first album done. That would be definitely a great accomplishment in 5 years. Hopefully more. But, I mean, geez, if I could say 5 years, I'd want to be definitely in front of more than a couple hundred people. I would hope to be in a stadium or somewhere relevant. I would love to have my company taken off and having people hired to complete tasks that eventually I probably won't be able to complete because there's going to be so dang many. It's going to be hard to keep up with. But I think I just in 5 years I would see myself completely set, and ready to just take over music 100%. I mean, that's my goal. I mean, everyone wants to be a legend, but not everyone wants to pursue that. Not everyone wants to work for it.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And I'm not. I've done a lot of work.
The question is it all worth it?
Absolutely. I think it is. It's something I love doing again, I mean, it's not, if I'm my own boss, I don't have to listen to anybody, at least not, like that, I don't have to listen to, like, anybody breathing down my neck, tell me I can't do that. Well, I can, because, of quite frankly.
You're doing it.
Yeah, quite frankly, I'm about to. So you're gonna have to get used to it, or get over it. So, I mean,
My big thing about that is there's one life that you get to live. You only get one shot at this, and then it's over. Who's gonna remember you? What are you gonna be doing that people remember you? And that's a lot of the reason I started this podcast. Is it's not being famous. It's not everybody knowing you. It's people remembering your name after it's all said and done. Remembering what you've done, the lives you changed
exactly
in the process.
Exactly, and that's a huge point. Like, again, kind of what I was saying earlier about the me picking up a banjo. I mean, there's a lot of artists out there that don't even play a freaking instrument, and they just go up there and sing. And I'm like, well, I mean, are you just gonna collect a paycheck, or are you gonna strive to do something? And or are you just gonna be? I mean, and no offense to them, I mean, it's kind of lazy to me. Like, I mean, I want to be able to say I did stuff that people never said they could do, or that some people said that they never tried. Well, if you would have tried it, maybe you could have been great. You could have been the greatest ever. I mean, how do you think a lot of the greatest people got where they were? Because they tried something and they strived to do it as best as they could. Well, I don't just want to be the best at guitar. I don't want to be the best at piano. I don't want to be the best at singing. I want to be the best at everything that I can be without killing myself. But that's part of it. If you have a career, you choose that career because you want to do it for the rest of your life. Well, if I want to do it for the rest of my life, I sure don't want to half-ass it. I mean, that seems like a waste to me. Yeah, complete waste, 100%.
Absolutely. So how do you think this podcast would say?
I think it went good.
Minus my crappy equipment that I've got going on here.
That's okay. Yeah, I didn't get to hear myself
Yeah, I remember
today
where I work too.
through my headphones because they didn't work, but that's okay.
I'll get it fixed, I promise.
Yeah. I tried to. I'm not used to the software that you're using, so I couldn't really help you there. But maybe it was your headphones. I don't know. Maybe
it was just all of it. We'll just say it was all of it.
Maybe it was all of it. But I think it went well. I think you asked some really good questions that kind of opened me up because there's a lot of stuff that I don't think about, and then when I hear a question, I'm like, oh crap, how do I answer that? And so, but I mean, I think I kind of learned some stuff about myself too. I mean, that I don't think about all the time, which is cool because that gives me.
Is this your first interview? Like,
yeah.
Get to know Taylor Fisher interview?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty open. I'm a pretty open book. So a lot of people already know, like, about me and what I do and what I've been through. But, yeah, I mean, as far as having a microphone shoved in my face, I mean, yeah, this is the first, which I wasn't worried about. I mean, again, I'm an open book, so I have nothing to hide from anybody. And I'm when I have an opinion, I'm very strong about it. Otherwise, I don't have an opinion about it because, I mean, I can't have a weak opinion because then I can't back it up.
Exactly. And that just makes you look dumb.
Yeah.
What's some things that people can do that are listening to this help you strive to be better, get out there, be known?
If it's on social media, share it. Share the
What's your Facebook page name?
It's called Taylor Fisher, but it's a business page. It's not a personal page. Only people I know get followed on my personal page, so just FYI, heads up. But the business page, anyone and everyone can follow, and anyone and everyone will get a follow back. My response time on messages is pretty good until I start having millions of people messaging me at once, and then,
hopefully tomorrow you wake up and there's
I might
even
slow down a little bit. I mean, the response rate might go down quite a bit.
Gotta go to the store, get a new phone.
Yeah, because it's gonna overload. But no, I mean, man, honestly, just put my name out there. I'm gonna have a couple. I'm gonna have the songs that are gonna be on my EP available on SoundCloud, just because it's free, and then on iTunes I'll have it available, but that'll be for purchase. I mean, just listen to it, share it. I mean, I'm about to, as soon as this album's done, my first album's honestly and in most ways going to be free at least disc drive wise. my CDs are. I mean, I'm gonna hand out a lot because that's what's gonna boost me, which is cool. I mean, everyone kind of gets a freebie.
You got anything else for us?
No, I really don't.
I talk you out.
No,
Y'all
I.
talk away.
I'm still good. No, I don't really have anything else to capitalize on. I mean, you pretty much got everything out of me. I mean, that's about all I got.
All right. Well, then that concludes episode 1. Check back with us for episode 2 with who knows who it'll be.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem.